I was in Kobe yesterday, and when I was there, I had an intention to go to two video game stores, two Ojama Cons, which is like a video game store chain that I didn't know existed until Leo Lobato told me, and then Domo arigato, Mr. Lobato, by the way, I have to say that all the time. And after I found out the existence of them, I have to go to all of them. So I've been to there's one in Kyoto, there's like 4 in Osaka or something. One on the way to Kobe and one in Kobe. On the way to Kobe is in Nishinomiya, by the way. It's like in the middle of Kobe and Osaka. And ironically, I went to both of those stores and didn't find anything worth buying. Either the good stuff they had was too expensive, or they just didn't have anything really that interesting. So I thought, I wasn't going to buy anything, but I ended up buying stuff because looking around the vicinity of the one in Kobe, I found like 3 other stores that were really good. And then I was going to go to a hard off in Nishinomiya, and then on the way to the hard off I went into a book off where I bought a few things, and then when I actually got to the hard off they didn't have jack shit. Interesting. So it's like all my goals were bad, but on the way and circumstantially or whatever, I coincidentally I found stuff that was good. So here they are. I'm gonna start with PlayStation. Robit Mon Dieu. Stupid name. But it's actually like, what the hell is this game even? But then I saw on the spine card, which is inside right now, that it's the 3rd game in the Jumping Flash series. And since it was only 250 yen, and since I already have Jumping Flash 1 and 2, I thought, why not complete the set, of which I had no idea there were 3. This game seems to have a new cast of characters, but in general it's like a more polished version of Jumping Flash, so should be fine. Second PlayStation game is Metal Slug. It was actually pretty cheap, because Metal Slug games are usually pretty expensive, but this was only like 300 to 500 yen, somewhere in that vicinity. And I tried it. It's pretty much the Metal Gear Neo Geo CD version on the PlayStation, pretty much. And it's Metal Slug. Metal Slug is cool. The only problem really with this version or whatever is it stops the game to load. I mean, usually in this kind of situation you would load in between stages, but this, when you beat a bigger enemy or a boss, actually like a mid-bosses too, they just freeze the game for 5 seconds to load, and then it goes on again, and that's annoying. So maybe I'll look into finding another version or something, but in the meantime, Metal Slug. And this is actually a game I remember from my childhood a bit, because they had a Metal Gear Slug... They had a Metal Slug arcade machine near the bowling alley in one of my whole hometowns, because I've moved around a lot. It was Metal Slug, the first game. This game, I remember the intro with the tank thing, because of that. So I have a small bit of connection to this game. Third PlayStation game is related to a Super Famicom game. It's The Fireman 2. Pete and Danny. Not sure if these are the 2 characters from the first game. They might be, because one is old and the other holds an axe, but I don't know. And this is pretty much also just more firemen. It looks pretty similar to the Super Nintendo game, just maybe a little snazzier. But and it doesn't have text. It has full voice acting, which is, I don't know if that's probably, for me, it's probably worse, because I can read better than I can understand listening. But the first Fireman was good, is good, and this looks good. Last PlayStation game is, ironically, I guess, a game I already had. It's Final Fantasy VII, about kind of recently, but this is Final Fantasy VII International, which is pretty much the like American and European version in Japan, because they made improvements on Final Fantasy VII when they moved it overseas, and then they brought the overseas version back with this, pretty much. But since I already started on, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII, the other one, the original, now, and I'm on the second disc. I'm basically over the halfway point. So I thought, can I just switch to these discs and just load my save file? And I tried it and it worked. Hopefully the game won't glitch out later. But the cool thing is this comes with a 4th disc, which is called the Perfect Guide, which is not really, I thought it might be like a strategy guide on a disc or something, but not really. It has like these things you can look at stats and stuff from all the weapons and items and the summons and characters and all the cities in the world. It's just quite cool little bonus thing, and it has this little making of design pictures and video, which I'm pretty sure they've already uncovered years ago, because it uses those beta shots of Final Fantasy VII. I've seen those shots before, so there's nothing new really, but it's cool to have. I believe I have had that disc before on a ROM or ISO or however you say that, but now I have it for real, which is better. I got 2 games for the Famicom Disk System. One that I've been chasing for a while, it's Gunsmoke. However, even though the disc is all legit, this cover is kind of crudely printed by some guy's printer and put there, so this is not the real front thing. But even so, I know where I can find the regular one. It's usually for 3,000 yen. This was 1,500, so half price to lose this. Like, I don't want to pay another 1,500 yen for just this thing, so it's like, I'll just get the game. It's Gunsmoke, and it's good. Gunsmoke is actually one of those shooter type games that I actually like, because shooters is my worst genre of video games. I don't really like them, but I like a few of them, and this is one of them. Second Famicom Disk System game I bought is not much of a game, but it's an interesting one. It's a collector's piece, if anything. It's Santa Claus no Takarabako. It came with a manual, which I like. It's pretty much a program for the disk system where you make animated Christmas cards, and you can like change. I think you can like change the music and change the picture, and I don't think you can draw and stuff, but pretty interesting. I'll break that out next Christmas for sure. It reminds me of there was a video I saw not too long ago where there was the history about some company who, when they started, made like programs where you could make Christmas cards and birthday cards or whatever, which were animated and stuff, and they got big for that for a while, then crashed and burned later. But is this related to that, or is it just something uniquely Japanese? I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting one. Definitely, just a collector's thing. I'll play it once a year. Moving into familiar territory with the Famicom, I only got one game, and it's Jumpin' Kid. It was slightly cheaper than I've seen it for. Usually it's like 2,000, some maybe 2,500. This was 1,200. Not that, not an exciting game really. It's just, the Jumpin' Kid, and he looks like Huckleberry Finn, I guess. And it's kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk. After a short while going side-scrolling, you just go up for ages. It's a little annoying that every enemy you shoot just gets stunned. You don't really kill enemies, which I don't like in games usually, but it still seems solid enough. But this is one of those games I'll have to play it and evaluate it before I decide whether or not I keep it, because it's not like an instant winner or anything. And now Super Famicom. I got 5 games for Super Famicom, and interestingly, they're all games that I wasn't really sure about, and I'm still not quite sure about how I like them or not, or whether or not I'll keep them. But they were all games that I found for cheaper than I usually see them for, so like, now is the time to try. First one is The Mask. A game I saw a couple pictures of. I just saw it was a side-scroller, and I was like, gotta have it, because it's a side-scroller. It's been kind of hard to find. I've only seen it, I haven't seen it in any stores except for one that was boxed for 9,000. It's like, no way. I've seen it on Yahoo Auctions, but it's like, do I really want to go through that? It's on Japan GameStop, but do I really want to go through all that? No. I found it in that weird game store. It was 1,500, so why not? And I tried it, and it seems fine. Doesn't seem like a great game or anything, but it seems fine. I don't know, we'll see if it's truly smokin'. P-A-R-T. Why? Because I gotta. Next one is Melfand Stories, which is for some reason classified as an RPG, I think. But if it's RPG, then it's heavily action RPG, because it's pretty much a not platformer, but a side-scrolling action game, and you pick between characters, and it says, I haven't tried, but it says 2 players, so maybe it's 2 players simultaneously. Is it? Yes or no? Bing! I'll look that up later. That's what I mean by that. I'm not sure where the stories come in exactly, because the little bit I tried playing it yesterday, I didn't see that much story coming in, but yeah, it's seems good. pretty good. Like, I can't say too much about a lot of these games right now because I only tried them for like 10 minutes, but seems fine. One game I'm pretty sure is fine, and yeah, I've been looking for this one for a while. I finally saw it for less than it usually goes for. It's Magic Sword by Capcom. It has good graphics. It's apparently an arcade game, and it's you make your way through a bunch of levels in this Tower of Babel looking place. You unlock helpers, which is these guys on the front there, and it's because it's from an arcade, it's pretty difficult when you just remove the possibility of being rich and infinitely continuing. So pretty difficult, but pretty good. Next is a game that I really want to like, but it's not a good game. It's Action Paccio, or how do you say that? Probably Paccio, because it's a pachinko thing. It's a pachinko, it's a Paccio-kun, I think. It's a pachinko mascot turned into a side-scrolling game. It's a blatant Sonic ripoff, but I like that. I like the art style. I like that it tries to rip off Sonic, actually, and kind of for a pachinko character, that actually makes sense. Being able to roll into a ball and then go like in this zoom thing, like that makes sense for pachinko, I feel. But the controls are terrible. Once you roll up into the ball, you can't jump, which is awful. But to attack enemies, you have to be in the ball, so you have to like go near an enemy, duck, then jump, and be sure to hit them, and it's a mess. And then you have infinite kill. One hit. You have an energy bar, but there are one-hit kill spikes. So they didn't think to add like a ring type system, and the fluency in the motion and the controls is not there. So it's like it has everything I would enjoy except the gameplay, which is annoying. But it is at least a fun specimen. It's a sad state of affairs, but it's yeah. Last one is the strangest one. I'll have to probably put some text after what I just say because I don't know what to say, what to think about this game right now. It's Casper, Friendly Ghost. Thing is though, when I booted this game up, I didn't get the game I thought I was gonna get. When I search for Casper NES on YouTube, I get this a boy and his blob looking thing where the girl walks around and the ghost floats side to side and cleans up the obstacles for her and catches stuff with nets and whatever does stuff. When I booted this game up, I got like an isometric puzzle game where you walk around as the girl, and then you can, when you stand on a star, you press a button and switch to Casper, who can go through doors, because he's a ghost, but you can only control him for 10 seconds. I guess you can hopefully extend that time later on, but I don't know. It's not the same game apparently. That's what is really confusing. But if it really is, because the other game doesn't look that good. If it is this, maybe this can be good. But I have to look into it. And that was my Kobe haul. More than I bargained for, so to speak. More than I expected to pick up, but it still puts some stuff to bed that I've been thinking of getting for a while, and it's like finally find it for slightly a lower price. It's like, I can't say no to a good bargain. That's how it is, and that's how the cookie crumbles. See you next time. Bye.